besides the language, that you had to go through to be PK every day till the end of the schedule?
You know, for that I have to get into the head of the character. And that's my most important process, which I kind of dive into, even before I get into the lines. So that's a process in which I have a lot of questions from the director. I get a lot from the script, but there's a lot that I need to clear my head about. So I ask a lot of questions to the director to kind of find the space that he is in. I need to understand. Well, I try to explain it. I'm not a trained actor, so I follow my own instincts and my own method, which essentially is to understand the head of the character. That's one. And two, I want to understand the energy of the character. You know, does that make sense?
It does, yeah. Totally does.
Because you know, some people have a slower energy. You know, I like to imagine that there are little atoms, you know, which are kind of buzzing around.
So there is some kind of prep every time you came back to the set to tell yourself to become that energy.
No, what happens is that so that actually helps me zone in on the key that I'm going to take for the character. And once that is set, then it kind of flows automatically from there. And when I come in the morning, I get into my costume, I get into my, you know, the way I'm looking, because this film I used to take 1 hour almost, a little longer to get ready. I was wearing lenses, I had tucked out my ears, and there were a lot of things I had done to my face. So once that process is over, I become that character. And so that getting ready part is a very important process for me as well, because that's when I'm sitting alone and I'm thinking of the scene that I'm going to shoot that day, and I'm getting into the mood of the moment. This time it was a little tricky because I was actually doing 2 films simultaneously.
Wow.
Something I hate doing. I hate doing that.
So would you switch on and switch back?
Well, in the last 12 years I haven't done that. But because of certain practical reasons of dates and etc., Dhoom 3 was not over yet. We were taking much longer to shoot the film than we thought we would. And PK's dates came up. So I had finished about 60% of Dhoom when I started to shoot for PK. And I tried to resist it, and I told Raju, can we start like 6 months later? And he was like, no way, I waited long enough. So I said, okay. So for the first time I was doing 2 films, you know, I was doing 1 schedule of PK, 1 of Dhoom 3. And in fact in Dhoom 3 I'm playing 2 characters, Sahir and Samar.
Right,
so I was playing 3 characters. But Raju didn't know that. I hadn't told him I'm playing twins in Dhoom 3. I just told him that, you know, you'll understand after you see Dhoom 3 why it has been so tough for me. So anyway, I landed up, I was shooting for about 45 days or 50 days for PK, the first schedule. And we shot in Rajasthan and Delhi. And then next day from Jaipur I flew, from Rajasthan I flew to Switzerland, where I was shooting the climax of Dhoom 3. There were huge bridges, and you know, both the brothers fall off the bridge. Right. And there was a line in that where Sahir tells Samar, when, you know, Abhishek's chopper lands and they're kind of on the run, and then the other chopper lands and Katrina gets out of that, Alia. And Samar is in love with Alia. So the moment he sees Alia, he stops. He can't get away. And Sahir tells him, you know, Samar, we have to get away from here. We have no time. You know, all this is a trap to get us. We have to move now. And Samar is not listening to him. So when we were shooting my lines of Sahir to Samar is the slow one. So my line was something like, I don't know what it was, something like, Samar chal, waqt nahi hamare paas, or something. So I said, director said action, and I said, Samar, chal jaldi, waqt nahi hamare paas.
Oh my God.
For 45 days I was speaking Bhojpuri. I said, waqt nahi hamare paas, chal jaldi. So Victor said, cut. So actually he didn't know what was happening. Victor had no idea what was happening. So he said, cut. As it is, we were fighting against time, you know, it was cloudy, and we were trying to shoot the climax in a hurry. So the weather was not on our side. So he said, cut, one more. Second time, I was like, man, going into Bhojpuri. Second time, you won't believe it, because there was so much excitement in that moment. That second time also the same thing happened. I said, waqt nahi hamare paas.
Oh my God.
It just wasn't coming out. I said, give me 2 seconds. Slowed down. Then finally I got it, of course.
So you carried PK all the way to Switzerland.
No, and then Victor, after the shot got over, came to me and said, why are you talking in your Lagan language? So I said, that's not the Lagan language, that's the PK language. Because Lagan was Abdi, this was Bhojpuri.
tough call.
So I was very unhappy doing 2 films, but to answer your question, you know, once you get into the head of the character, by and large things flow after that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Aamir. Just one question for Mr. Hirani. The battery recharge dance is already trending a lot and people are talking about it.
Yeah? Wow.
Yes, it is.
Good to hear that.
Yes, and of course there is a lot of echo to it of all is well. So is there some kind of, what was the initiative behind having this dance in the movie?
See, what finally echoes or what resonates with people, you really can't judge at this stage. When we were doing Munna Bhai, maybe we didn't know Jadoo Ki Chappi will become what it became, or when we were doing Lage Raho Munna Bhai. While we were writing, we thought there was a concept called Get Well Soon, that if you want to embarrass your somebody who's been corrupt or something, go and give him flowers and say you're not well and say get well soon. So we thought this would catch up, but it didn't. What became more popular was the word Gandhigiri. So there are certain concepts in this film, but again at this moment I can't talk and I really don't know what would catch up. So battery recharge is one of them.
Like we didn't know it's trending. Thank you for telling us. We had no idea. We just did it because we believe in it. If it trends, please inform us.
Hi guys, this is Bindu from